Let me take you guys back 10 years ago, a time when MMOs were much more popular and when YouTube videos still had those blaring intros with the song Trance Sound System Dreamscape. It was a golden time where people posted shit and roleplayed. People didn't care because everything was simpler than it is now. So sit back and relax as Papa Hunter recounts his days as a young wizard. I'm still young, but nostalgia makes you old, if that makes any sense. I remember back in those days, people used to use Cheat Engine for the highest scores on the mini games in the fairgrounds. To this day, I still don't understand what was the point, since the only reward was having your name displayed. And even then, the names were shared among everybody. There were so many Luke Skywalkers and Taylor Swifts, so it didn't really matter. The materialistic rewards were pitiful. All you got from having a high score was a ripped tablecloth, some useless mana refills, less than 63 cents a day to donate towards a reputable charity, and a shitty Yu-Gi-Oh card nobody wanted to trade with you at school. A lot of people back then, myself included, used to fight against this muscle-bound fish face called the Kraken. It was technically the only rewarding boss people could have access to without membership. I would always spend countless hours trying to get these one-day mounts in hopes of turning them into a permanent one. This never happened because I realized MMOs didn't work that way. However, if you think about it, if you did get 365 mounts, you can use one each day. The only problem would be finding enough bag space for them. At least you can flex on people each day with the different types of mounts you got. Anyways, one of the things I used to hear a lot back then was the Woo realm. More specifically, the Woo Die Shop. If you didn't know, it's basically a realm of the game's life school professor. When I was just a young wizard, I figured why not take a trip down there and see what the excitement was all about. Not surprisingly, I found the double Ds of disdain and debauchery. A lot of words were being exchanged that seemed to fly past like a drive-by shooting. I've never seen such foul language that was able to get around the chat filter. They were creative, I'll give them that. At the time, it was a pretty dangerous place. Being the innocent bystander that I was, though, I got struck down in the crossfire. Now, you might be thinking, but Hunter, how did you get in trouble with the law? Well, you see, back then, we had these wannabe Good Samaritans that kissed and groveled at the feet of King Zhao. They were called hall monitors. These hall monitors were players who had the power to mute and suspend people. In my opinion, a lot of them abused their power. To my knowledge, some of them still do to this day. So, needless to say, I guess I picked the wrong realm. I've still never been back there ever since, but I learned a very valuable lesson that day. If you ever wanted to do a speedrun category on getting banned, then going to that realm and doing nothing is certainly an option. Back when I was a kid, I didn't have $10 to spend a month on this game. It wasn't until one day I had received some money for my birthday was when I finally took the first step. Keep in mind, my parents didn't know my intentions for spending the money I had. They thought games were stupid. I used to wait for my parents to go out shopping and then sneak out to 7-Eleven to buy one of those prepaid membership cards. Believe it or not though, the nearest 7-Eleven was about 3 miles away from me, so I always had to haul ass before my parents got home. In the end though, I think it was worth it. If I didn't commit to it, I wouldn't have this nice YouTube channel with such a wonderful audience. Besides, I got my 30-minute workout for those days. Now you could argue, but Hunter, why didn't you just use a credit card and save yourself some running? Well, 1, I didn't want my parents to find out, and 2, I didn't trust myself with that kind of responsibility. Spanning about 10 years, I know it says 9, but it's awfully close. Besides, if you see this video in a couple months, it'll be 10 anyways. I used to have a YouTube channel that I would make a couple videos on. Looking back, it seems like any kid's first YouTube channel. One of my very first video masterpieces was titled Hunter Myth Dreamer. I mean, it had everything. You got the whole hypercam overlay and the ego of telling people you're on YouTube like a big shot. Then the teleporting to friends to flex. Next, I hit you with the biggest power move. The rate, comment, subscribe. And to land the finishing blow, I dealt the "you will keep seeing more," signifying the end of the cinematic masterpiece. Now, I don't know why it only went to 1 minute and 9 seconds out of 3 minutes, but I guess YouTube's processor couldn't handle this beauty of a disaster. But anyways, there are countless classics like the Pokemon Experience, and the Myth Amulet has been proven as a drop Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little bit from my past, so let's get to how the game actually was. Now, some people say Wizard101 was great a long time ago. To that I say how. If I remember correctly, back then, defeat and collect quests were even more tedious. Each battle literally had a 20% chance to get an item you needed to collect. There were no jewels. Pets were there, but they were only there for aesthetics and cosmetics. Pets literally served no benefit in battle. I get that it's nostalgic, but the game was not perfect or flawless. I also remember there was no such thing as teleporters in areas. So, guess what? You had to run back and forth like a quarterback tackling quests. Gear was absolutely abysmal. All you had were these predefined gear items that were the best because the stats dictated it was the best for everything. There was no customization or swapping gear because the gear items were better in every way in stats. I mean, unless you wanted to physically handicap yourself, like actually physically hurt yourself for a challenge, sure, you could have worn them. If you are as old as I am now, you'll probably remember when Wizard101 used to do these commercials where they were shown on television. This was a long while ago when they actually put some of their budget into animation. Nowadays, it's not so much, which is sad because I kinda miss those outlandishly animated shorts. As far as I know, the last time KingsOwl ever put out that kind of animation was back in 2013 with Pirate 101. How I got into Wizard101 was not by the commercials. Rather, when I was a kid, I saw this ad for Wizard101 on a Flash Games website. One click, and the rest was history. Anyway, if you played the game a long time ago, what was your favorite memory? Comment down below, I'd love to hear it. With that, take care, and see you guys.